how I go about inking my illustrations. As you can see here, I have a pretty gestural sketch, which usually before I start my inking, it's good to always make sure your sketch is exactly how you want it to be before you start inking, or at least my problem is I hesitate to just go straight into the inking process, which, you know, it's okay to do that, but in order to get all the details you were really looking forward towards, that's more so where the pencil comes into play. And as you can see right now, I'm just gonna go in and revise all the areas that I feel like could be more defined, more in depth. I kind of for sure wanted to add more vines to this before I start going into the vines. I think that's what they call them, the pumpkin vines. I usually like to use a reference. For this one, I just think I used the outside windows. And as you can see, it is a beautiful day outside. Well, somewhat. Let's see right there. Beautiful day. Sorry if it's all shaky. But actually, yeah, I'll just show you guys later. But it's a really beautiful, bright autumn day, and it's a perfect time to go ahead and draw these pumpkins, you know? And I think this will look really cool in a matter of 20 minutes. Or, you know what, let's say 15. I think this won't take too long. So for those that like to just skip the whole video and see the final product, feel free. I don't mind at all. But for those that want to just see every stroke, this is how I go about the creative process. And I think the pumpkins are good. Sometimes I'll accidentally just start to redraw the same lines over and over. I think it's okay to do that sometimes for the sake of repetition. You'll catch yourself if you're being too repetitive. For me right now, it's to make it organic, flow, yet naturally aesthetically pleasing when it comes to the formation of the leaves and the expression of the autumn season. You know, leaves and everything's falling apart, everything's somewhat grotesquing, if that's the right term. Everything's becoming pretty hollow looking. You know what would actually be cool is if I threw in some leaves in the air. Because I see a lot of that for sure right now with the trees blowing all these debris everywhere. Truly, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll just doodle here. Just make some mistakes. The thing I didn't notice is I didn't really add values to this yet. So I'm gonna do that real quick, just to, for one, I guess, please my eye, the depth of field in the drawing. But then also too, it's kind of like scratching, like when you scratch your leg, or like an itch satisfaction, ASMR. You know, nice, get a feel for the drawing, the direction, the perspective of the light. Even this one is kind of more the light source is right above or in front of. With pumpkins, it's really like you just gotta have fun with the. Once you get down the shadowing of things, of objects, pumpkins become like, or abstract objects that are organic and natural looking become fun to shade in. Because in nature, you do see a lot of those patterns. Nothing is really ever distinct. Okay, so I think I got the sketch, and I like to do this. I'll get a paintbrush, and what this is allowing me to do, why I like it, is it pushes the lead around, allowing it to give it some opaqueness, and it kind of shades the entire drawing while also somewhat erasing. So it's kind of like the same thing as if you were to squint your eyes. If you squint your eyes and looked at this, it'd be a very similar aesthetic of you're trying to find the simplisticness and composition of it all, you know. from the shapes of the pumpkins to the whole composition of itself to the perspective of everything. You know, I think I might, you know, yeah, I might fix the top of this one, cause, or maybe I should fix this one, cause this pumpkin is further away. And so it's good to go ahead and revise and erase. And as you can see now, if I go in with an eraser, which I totally forgot about, is you basically can start to highlight certain things. And I don't know if you could really see it on the camera, but go ahead and try this yourself. Do a sketch and then, you know, get something to rub the graphite around as so. Doing so, you'll get some cool value effects. But in the meantime, I'm gonna make this smaller. And then I think I'm just gonna start, because I didn't want to make this too detailed. And I think that will look cool. Alright, so there's two ways I was going to go about it. Before, it was start with the markers, you know, doing this first, or just sticking to the Inktober side of it. And I think I'm going to just do this for now. And what's cool is I could always add the color later. So yeah, for right now, I'm going to use these old Copic multi-liner pens. As you can see, I pretty much used it up pretty well. Let's go ahead and start. And then so for this drawing, my intention is to not make it clean whatsoever. I'm gonna make it very naturalistic, organic, no clean lines. You know, if they are clean lines, just, you know, try to give it more of a cool Inktober aesthetic. Which, how I go about doing that is make mistakes with the pen, and by doing that, you have to work with your mistakes, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you start to get the lines that you told yourself you couldn't do because your lines are too perfect, or you are a perfectionist, or at least that's how this is me talking to myself, just this, when it comes to the creative process, you know. But yeah, how I do go about these drawings, if you are doing one, is make mistakes, and from there, that's where the magic happens, and the imagination starts to take hold of the creative spirit, as in you start to envision, or at least your subconscious mind and your conscious mind are at play, you know. And the more you strengthen that connection between the subconscious and the conscious mind, that's where really cool pieces of art start to show. And as a person from drawing for 10 years, 5 years professionally, I would say so, trying to be, I look at the stuff I did when I first started now, and holy crap, like, the true inspiration was always there. It was just, for me at one point, learning to master these elemental skills and fundamentals to create a work of art. It's been a really cool journey. And as you could see with these, I think they're coming out pretty cool. You know, just trying to make it really loose. I think eventually it would be cool to add some color. Do some like not bright, but very warm tones of oranges and reds. I was even thinking, I guess when drawing this in the first place, it would be some type of like greeting card or something I would like to share with my family and others, because I do like this time of year. Even though I hate the winter and the cold, it's starting to get cold out here where I'm at in Joliet. There's just something about the autumn season that's just very appealing. Could just be the color changing and the the actual energy switch going on in the world, the seasons. But yeah, once October and November are over, in December it gets pretty brutal. But I think this will help warm up my family's heart, and so is mine. I like how I really dig how there's a big ass pumpkin back here. I guess why I like to draw pumpkins sometimes is the challenge of the somewhat symmetricalness they have. Because if it's either they look good or they don't. And for a long time that was my struggle, like making a good like pumpkin without it looking distorted. Yes, as you can see, I'm on the last pumpkin. I'm not trying to rush this. I don't want to rush this. Because my imagination was thinking I could get this done in 15 minutes. Which I don't think that's the case. Maybe it's been like 5 minutes now. 10, but for the sake of this video, thank you for watching. As you can see, it's very, for me, it's just a little documentation, short blog of what's going on in my day-to-day life. And I figured it'd be cool to just start to document, and so I could even look back at this and see how much I've improved with these drawings. I was looking at drawings that I did, the first drawings that I really started doing, which was like 2013 till now, and just watching the generation of myself just grow, or at least what